Okay, listen up, please. Not only do we need you in those seats with yellow tape, but you need to have a mask on this entire meeting, okay, because you're not 6 feet apart. So if you have not, please mask up. Okay. So today we are going to be going through a slide presentation, giving you a lot of information. We need you to really stay focused and locked in and pay attention, because even though you've been through this 3 times, there are a lot of new courses that are going to be available to you for next year that we want to make sure that you're aware of. And then obviously after we get through the presentation, then we're going to actually schedule you. Okay, so for right now, just a couple housekeeping things that I need you to do. Number one, when we're talking, we need you to be quiet and listen, not be talking to your neighbor. Secondly, if you have your cell phone, please silence it and put it in your pocket. And thirdly, do not open your Chromebook until we tell you to, which will not be for quite a while. So close your Chromebooks, okay? After we are done in here today, okay, later today, we will be sending out an email that will go to you and your parents, okay? With that email, it will include this presentation. All right, we would like for you to have your parents watch that so that they're informed about your senior year. Okay. We will also have another link in that email that will go directly just to the slides, because we have a lot of hyperlinks in the slide presentation. So if they want to go in there to click on any of that, they can have access to that as well. Thirdly, as long as I remember to scan it in, I will put a copy of that paper that you were handed in there as well, in case you lose it or whatever. I don't want you to worry about this right now, but if you haven't noticed, okay, attached to that should be an accurate list of all courses that would be available for you to take, okay, to choose from. So that's why we handed out the kind of the hard copy thing for you to use here in a little bit, all right? But for right now, you can just put everything at your hands, keep your focus up here, and we're going to go through this as quickly as we can, and then we'll give you a chance to answer or ask any questions that you have, and we'll go from there, okay? So Mrs. Gay is going to start you through.
All right, this looks like deja vu from yesterday morning. How many of you are sitting in the exact same seat as for the ASVAB yesterday? There's like a handful of you that just like proudly, this is where I want to sit for another hour and a half. 3 wasn't enough yesterday. Okay, juniors, well, soon to be seniors. Are you guys ready to seniors?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Normally a little more enthusiasm about being senior. Like you're at the top, you're almost done. Like you get access to every course we offer. Like you're kind of in a situation like, okay, you've done this, you know what you're doing, right? All right, so just a couple reminders. Some of this shouldn't be new to you, but we're going to go over some just basic high school stuff that's important for you guys to, know and remember. Your classes and your grades and your credits do matter. A lot of times the freshmen don't really believe this. How many of you, raise your hand, probably didn't take 9th grade as seriously as you probably should have, and now you're like, oh. See, I wish all of you could talk to our current 8th graders and be like, don't do what I did. Those credits do matter. You have to have the right amount of credits and the correct number of credits to graduate, right? You have to have math, English, science, and social studies. You have to have Algebra 1. Those are things that you can't take for granted, and by now, you should be at least pretty familiar with what those diploma types require. So we're going to go over them just as a kind of a refresher so you can think through, okay, for sure, what do I still need for next year? So first diploma type, the Core 40, this is what the majority of students choose to be on. This is that basic high school diploma. You can see your little chart here with all the courses that you need to take. So math, 3 years of math is required, 3 years of science, social studies, 3 years health and PE, and then you have room for electives like your foreign language, your CTE classes, that kind of thing. So you need your 4 years of English, English 9, 10, 11, 12. So Does everybody in here need to take English 12 next year? Yay, okay. The 3 years of math, science, okay, so you should have an idea of what you've already taken, where you're at, what you think you might still need. Okay, list of quantitative reasoning courses. So you're required to take a quantitative reasoning course your senior year in high school. So let's say you're in Algebra 2 right now, you're on the core 40, and you're choosing not to do pre-calc next year. You have to take a class next year that counts as quantitative reasoning, QR, which is kind of like a math class, kind of not. You can see there's a long list of courses that actually qualify for that. The majority of you will take econ, economics next year, and that counts as a quantitative reasoning course. So as long as you're taking that, which if you're on the core 40, you need that, that counts as that QR course, okay? You can see a ton of classes up here that count. And then if you go to Marion or the Heartland Career Center, they have classes up there that also count for those quantitative reasoning. So most of you should be covered one way or the other for that QR course next year.
To be honest, what I would add to that, that is the one thing that sometimes as a counselor, at least I'll just speak for myself, that can slip my mind a little bit. So you guys, as you schedule, if you have any questions with that or whatever, you got to make sure that you have that base covered, okay?
Okay, so core 40 with academic honors. This requires all the basics of the core 40, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, your English, Math, Science, Social Studies. But you have to have 47 out credits to graduate. So the additional requirements for the academic honors, and this is a good reminder for those of you on the academic honors. We always have seniors that partway through the year end up having to drop their diploma type because they aren't keeping the C's in their classes they need in order to earn that academic honors. So you have to have 2 additional math credits, which means going up through pre-calculus, or what we have next year, a new 4th year math class. It's called CCR Bridge Math Ready. It's more of a reiterating the math skills you've already learned in Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. So if you're not totally confident in your math skills, you're a little worried about going up to a college level pre-calculus class next year for math, that CCR Bridge Math Ready course might be a good option for you.
What I would add to that is those of you that are on the honors diploma, okay, we want you to finish that honors diploma, okay? Number one, it's just a great accomplishment. Secondly, it can help you receive some scholarships as you get ready for college, okay? So I just want to restate that, what she said, because that's a new course. So if you are one that's sitting here right now, we do want you to challenge yourself. Hopefully you'll take pre-calc, you'll get after it, you'll do well in it. But if you're one that just really struggles in math, and yet you're on that honors diploma and you want to finish that, don't take the easy way out and come in and drop down to the core 40. Take that CCR Bridge class, which is going to help the skills that you need, reinforce those, okay, to help you be successful in college math. Because I think one of the biggest mistakes seniors make in their senior year, and many of you are already thinking this as you're in the scheduling meeting, is how easy can I make my senior year schedule? And I am telling you, okay, and if you don't do it, at least remember that in this meeting, the year before you graduated from high school, and Mr. Law warned you about this, when you get to college and you had that easy year, it's going to slam you right in the face, okay? Because I've had too many people come back and tell me that they wish they would not have done that. So challenge yourself. If that means you need to take the CCR Bridge to stay in a math class, that checks off your quantitative reasoning as well. Go ahead and take that class.
I got a little ahead of myself, but we'll go through that math option again. So even if you are on the core 40, if you're interested in going to Purdue or IU, Purdue in West Lafayette or IU in Bloomington, they do require 4 years of math. So even if you're on the core 40, you need that 4th year, which is why we've got those 2 options now for you as a senior, either the pre-calculus, which you can earn college credit in, or the CCR Bridge math course. Okay, and another thing to remember, if you're planning on going to some type of college, taking a year off of math is really hard to then go into college level math the next year. So make sure you're considering adding a math course next year, whether you are academic honors, you need it, or if you are on the core 40, that's still kind of a good idea if that 4-year college is what you're thinking of for after you graduate. Okay, you need 6 credits in a world language as well, so by now you should have taken at least 2 years of a foreign language. You maybe have already in your 3rd. If you're on that academic honors, you have to have 2 credits in fine arts, that's music or art classes. C or better in your courses that count towards your diploma, so that's on your report cards. Those 9-week report cards is more of a check-in for you. The only one that really matters for this is excuse me, at the semester. So if you had any D's first semester in a class that you have to graduate and you're on the academic honors, come see me or Mr. Law. We're going to come up with a plan of how you can retake that class. You have to have a GPA of a 3.0, which is averaging B's, and then you have to complete one of these. So a combination of AP or dual credit classes or a certain SAT or ACT score. Okay? ACT score is 26, SAT is a 1250. How many of you are signed up to take the SAT this Saturday? So I know there's a group that's planning. Okay, so this gives you an idea of kind of what they're looking for the academic honors diploma is that 1250. But again, you can earn that as well with combinations between A, B, and C, combination of college, dual credit classes, and or AP classes. Okay, so make sure if you're on academic honors, you're checking these boxes, one of these. We talked about the math options for next year. All right, the technical honors. This is not as popular of a diploma. I think we'll probably see more of an uptick in interest now that we're offering more CTE courses and technical trade programs. So this requires the Core 40 requirements. This prepares a student for a 2-year, 4-year college, technical school, trade school, that type of a after high school. You do have to take a full year at either Heartland or Marion Regional Career Center and earn 6 credits there. You can earn college credits most of the time too through both of those career centers. They work with Ivy Tech and Vincennes. So you'll get a lot of stuff from that too. So you have to earn the Core 40 requirements plus a C or better on all your courses that count towards your diploma, a 3.0 GPA, those 6 credits in a college or career pathway course, which would be your Heartland or your Marion class. And then with that class, you either have to earn a certification or earn dual credits, resulting in 6 college credits. So most of you, if you're at Heartland or at Marion, you've probably met one of those requirements already this year. And then you have to meet one of these following. So it's that list of like the test scores or the combination of dual credits or AP, or certain scores on the work keys, the AccuPlacer or Compass. We do not offer those here, but the career centers typically do. Okay, so if you attend Marion or Heartland and you're on the Core 40 and you think you might be able to do this, talk with one of us. It may be a good idea to add that technical honors. Like Mr. Law said, there is some possibility for scholarship money if you earn either of the academic honors diplomas. Again, IU Bloomington and Purdue and West Lafayette do require not only 4 years of math, but they do require 2 years of a foreign language. So keep that in mind if you're considering either of those schools for after you graduate. All 3 of these diplomas allow you to apply for 2-year and 4-year colleges. Again, that does not mean you'll be accepted or admitted because they look at a much bigger picture than just your diploma type. So be aware as you're going into senior year, they'll be looking at GPA, test scores, the rigor of classes that you've chosen to take, how much you challenge yourself in high school, your extracurriculars, resume info, that kind of stuff.
So as you see right up there, one of the things, this is coming right back to what I talked about a little bit ago, that colleges are looking for is rigor of coursework. Okay, so when that college counselor is looking at your package and they see that you took a very light load as a senior, what do you think that's telling them? Okay, so keep that in mind as you choose your courses.
Senior recognition. So this, how long have you been doing this here, Oak Hill, senior recognition?
Right, at least 4 or 5 years.
Okay. So you can graduate with one of these distinctions or academic honors distinctions at graduation by meeting these requirements. So summa cum laude. This is how colleges do it, by the way. They kind of give you categories, and if you meet that category, you get that distinction at graduation. It's not as dependent on you compared to all your classmates. It's you just meeting these requirements. So summa cum laude, which is the highest level, you need the academic honors or the technical honors diploma, 4.1 GPA, and then you have to take 8 or more AP or dual credit classes. Those can be combined. So combination of AP and dual credit. Magna cum laude is the same thing, academic honors or technical honors, different GPA there you can see, and then 6 to 7 AP and or dual credit classes, and then cum laude is the honors diplomas. You can see the GPA there, and then 4 or 5 of the AP and or dual credit. okay? So keep this in mind as you're choosing classes next year. If you think you'll be close to one of these, maybe add on another AP class or another dual credit class to maybe meet one of those requirements. They get recognized in like the graduation program.
Yeah, that call, you stay in during the program when they call your name if you've met those requirements.
All right, grad pathways. For those of you, well, this is the crew that took iStep this year. You're the last ones to have to do that. Don't you feel special? So we will not get iStep scores back until April. If you pass both iStep tests, that's all you need to graduate as well as passing your classes. If you do not pass both iStep tests, we will continue to offer the iStep for you to take each semester. So if you want to try taking it again next December, we can do that. We can also offer it again next spring if you want to try again. If not, your other way to graduate is using the graduation pathways. This should not be a new term, I hope, right? We've mentioned it a couple times. Make sure you understand going into senior year because you have to meet these requirements if you have not passed iStep. So I would say your best bet when you're scheduling today is make sure that you can cross off all three of these boxes as kind of a backup insurance policy in case you do not pass iStep. So the three requirements, we call them boxes, box 1, 2, and 3, that's the terminology we use. Get used to that because we're going to bug you a lot next year about asking you if your box 2 is done, if you've submitted your paperwork for box 2. So box 1, complete the credits for your diploma. That's specific to academic honors, 440, technical honors, whatever you need. Box 2 is completing employability skills. Box 3 is meeting a post-secondary ready competency. And we'll talk about those in a second. These links on here take you directly to some more detailed information about grad pathways and what all that looks like. Okay, so box 1, pretty simple, right? You know what classes, what credits you need. We've already talked through all of that. This should not be new for you. Box 2 is an employability skill. So you have to complete an experience in one of the following categories. So this is either a project-based learning, service-based learning, or work-based learning. The project-based learning would be the certain courses that we do offer here that are project-based classes that would count for this box 2. Computer Science 1 is an example. And those are all listed in our course book. We can show you where that's at. Service-based learning, if you're in a sport, a club, if you complete summer and do FFA, stuff with FFA, there are some additional requirements you have to do. But if you've successfully completed a sport or you've been actively participant in a club, these count for your box 2. Box 3 is if you have a job, that will count, or if you choose to do a work-based learning class next year as a senior, that's that half-day program, that would also count for the work-based learning. So looking at this, raise your hand if you think you already have a way to meet box 2. Okay, good. For those of you who do not, we need to come up with a plan just to have that as a backup. There is a form in Skyward that has to be completed to document this. So you might say, yeah, I did a sport, but we have to have documentation paperwork that says you have. So CMS is right. It's all in Skyward. You complete it. You have to have your coach or your employer sign off on the form, basically saying you've done what you said you've done. And that box 2 can be completed. Box 3 is post-secondary readiness competency. What the state is moving away from is putting all the emphasis on one test. So rather than just having to pass iStep, they're giving you some other options. So if you're not a great test taker, there are definitely other ways you can still meet those graduation requirements, specifically with this box 3. So if you earn an honors diploma, either the technical honors or the academic honors, that automatically counts for your box 3. If there are certain SAT, ACT, and ASVAB test score benchmarks that will also count for this, so that's why we took the ASVAB yesterday. If you get a 31 or better on the ASVAB, that will count for box 3. Do you know off the top of your head what the SAT one is? I don't remember. Okay. If you earn what's called a CTE concentrator, career and technical education concentrator, there are courses here that count for that. You take like advanced manufacturing 1 and 2, and you earn C's or better in both of those, that counts as a concentrator. So that would also count for box 3. You have to earn, or you can also earn C or better in 3 AP or dual credit classes. We also have what's called, this is new, a civic arts pathway. So if you're in art or music, you may be able to check this off too. For the music, you have to take at least 3 years of either choir or band, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. And then you also have to take intro to business, and that will count as that pathway. The same thing, similar with art, you have to do intro to 2D art, intro to 3D art, and then one advanced art class, as well as intro to business to get that civic arts pathway. Or you can earn a credential or a certification in vocational school. So you see there's a ton of options to meet this one. It's not just all test score based, so hopefully there's something on here that, you know, sticks out to you that says, oh, I think I can meet it that way in case I need it. Okay? So that's grad pathways, box 1, 2, and 3. These are the CTE concentrators that we offer here. Again, these count for your box 2, or your box 3, sorry. Some of them do count for box 2, you can see on the far left. So let's see, how many of you are taking a class looking at this? How many of you are taking a class that's in that first column? Or have taken a class in the first column? Okay. If you take then the second class in the other column next year, you will have completed that CTE concentrator as long as you earned a C or better. So that's another easy way to get that box 3 out of the way.
And for some of you that didn't raise your hand when we asked if you had, done something for box 2, as you're seeing up there, there's several different options there. If you're taking one of those this year, that can also count for box 2 and box 3. You may want to consider that in your schedule.
Okay, so that's grad pathways. That's your backup if you don't pass I-STEP. Again, we won't get those scores back till April, so it's good to at least have a preliminary plan in place to use grad pathways just in case you do not pass both I-STEP tests. All right, vocational schools, this shouldn't be new to you either. We send students to both Heartland and Marion Regional Career Center, previously named Tucker. These are half-day programs. You can go as a junior or senior, but you have to be on track to graduate. These are hands-on classes that can earn you certifications, concentrator status, college credits at Ivy Tech and SENS. Again, these courses can check off your box 3 for your grad pathway. If you are currently attending one of these schools, and you plan to do so next year, we need your application if you have not done so. There's quite a few current juniors who attend Heartland who have not submitted their application for next year. We cannot guarantee you a spot until we can't guarantee you a spot either way. But we need those applications to be able to request seats for you guys.
So just so you understand, just because you're at Heartland or Marion Regional right now, you have to reapply every year. It's not just automatic, okay? And we actually will be going to a meeting next Friday where we are requesting those spots. So if we don't have your application before next Friday, I'm not going to tell you we won't still accept it after spring break. We will. We'll do everything we can to still try to get you in. But your chance of getting a spot into the program that you want at Heartland drop dramatically if we don't have that out for that meeting next Friday.
So get that turned in as soon as you can. So the 2 vocational schools, Heartland, again, we provide transportation for that. Those of you who go now, that's early in the morning. You get to get on the bus and get bus on up to Wabash. Popular classes, the health science, welding, auto collision, they've got that cosmetology program. That one's pretty competitive to get into. And then Marion or Tucker, you do have to provide your own transportation. They've got computer programming, criminal justice, health science. They've got an aviation mechanics class 2. They've got an HVAC program. So between the 2 of these, if you're thinking of anything in like the CTE, the technical education, vocational school stuff, between these 2 schools, there are classes that you can take that will help you go towards what you're interested in. So if you didn't go this year and you think you might be interested in next year, make sure you apply and see us if you have questions.
And the application for Heartland is an actual hard copy application. See Mrs. Bright in the guidance office for those. And then the Marion Regional is online.
All right, testing for you. You already took I-STEP, yay! You can retake that in December of next year as well as next spring if you still have not passed, so that is an option for you. In 11th and 12th grade, you do take that ASVAB, you already took that too. So you guys have been tested tested quite a bit this spring already. The ACT and SAT. These are college entrance exams. Colleges use these when they're looking at your application to see where you're at. best time to take this is right now, spring of your junior year. That gives you a couple more tests if you want to retake it or increase your score. You have time to before college applications. Those early college applications are due November 1st. So what you want to do is make sure you have a score on file before then. These also help with scholarships. So there's some good reasons to take that.
Some universities have what they call a sliding scale as far as academic money, that they're academic scholarships that they're going to give you. So what that means is they'll take your GPA, whatever that is, and they'll take your SAT or ACT score and whatever that is, put that into their formula, and then that pumps out how much money they're going to give you in scholarship money. So it is very important that you do the best you can on the SAT.
You have to pay for these on your own. If you're on free or reduced lunch, we can get you a waiver that will help with that fee. So come see us if that's the case. There are quite a few schools because of COVID that have transitioned to like test optional. So you can apply places now without a test score, but not everybody's there. And some schools still require it, and a lot of scholarships still require that score. So I still would encourage you to have a score on file. You can always choose to apply to a school without using that score if you're not super confident in it, but having one, because I don't want you getting stuck with scholarships that require a test score and you just haven't taken it yet. So there are a couple more opportunities this spring to take it into the summer as well. Okay, so advanced placement courses. These shouldn't be new to you. There's been a handful of options for you to take these through this year. There'll be even more next year for you. So AP courses, these are college level, college prep courses. They are taught at a much higher rigor than a normal high school class. You can earn college credit if you pass the AP test at the end of the course. Okay? Those tests are pretty difficult. The purpose is because it is college level, material. They're trying to make sure that you know what needed to be covered and what was taught in that course. The test can cost about $100 a piece. Some of the tests are covered by the state of Indiana, so our English ones, the AP Lang and AP Lit, are both covered by the state, so you don't have to pay for those. But some of the tests you still do have to pay for, so be aware of that.
And just so that you understand, here at Oak Hill High School, and there was a few, because we have some new AP courses this year that maybe didn't meet this, but Mr. Beams has been very clear with us that moving forward into next year, if you take an AP course, you will be expected to take the AP exam. So you need to figure in that financial situation.
And if you are on free or reduced lunch, there is a decreased fee for you as well. So if you score high enough on these, you can receive college credit. Most of the AP tests that we offer here, AP is kind of accepted nationwide. So if you're looking out of state, these credits will go with you if you pass those AP tests. Now, each institution can kind of choose how they take those credits in, but that AP, again, is something that if you're looking to go out of state, these transfer pretty easily. These are weighted, which means it helps your GPA. So if you get a B in an AP class, it actually counts towards your GPA as an A. It'll show up as a B on your transcript, but it's going to help that weighted GPA. So next year, well, here's what we offer. We have AP English 11 and 12, so AP Lang and AP Lit. AP World, which would have been 10th grade. We are offering to see if we've got numbers for these, but AP Art, AP Chem, AP Bio, AP Micro Econ, and then AP Computer Science Principles. So we have quite a few options for you there if you're interested in taking some additional AP courses next year. So the other option would be dual credit. These are similar to AP courses. These earn you college credit while you're here in high school. So the dual credit means high school credit and college credit. You earn the college credit by passing the course. So there's not one test at the end that you have to pass like AP that gives you those college credits. It's your work throughout the entire semester. Some of our dual credit courses do have like a final exam that the institution gives. So you need to obviously do well on those tests too. But that is the main difference between that AP and the dual credit. So we offer dual credits through ACP, which is IU, that's IUK. These cost you $25 a credit hour. You do have to meet the requirements to take those courses. There's prerequisites as well as GPA requirements, so check the course book for that info. That would be in Spanish 3 and 4, German 3 and 4, Calculus, Computer Science, and Government. That's a new one for next year, ACP Government. And then IB Tech, these are free, but again, you must meet GPA requirements, and sometimes there are test score requirements as well in order to earn those credits. We offer that in US history, and then for next year for you guys, that would be pre-calculus and then English 12. So that is something new for this group, that for 12th grade English, you'll have the option to either choose AP, dual credit English 12 through Ivy Tech, or just regular English 12. We cannot control we cannot control how schools accept these dual credits. So those courses that we do offer as dual credit are part of what's called the core transfer library. Indiana has this agreement between public schools, like state public schools, that these credits will transfer between most of those public schools pretty easily. If you're interested in a private school or out-of-state schools, these do not necessarily transfer as easily, and those institutions can make decisions themselves on how they take those credits. So let's say you're planning on studying poli-sci in college, and you take our ACP government. That's going to be a college government credit, as social studies, a poli-sci credit. And if that's the area you're going to study in college, sometimes the private schools will say, okay, we want you to take our class that's the equivalent of that. We may take those as elective credits, and it'll count, give you some college credits. But you still may have to take the equivalent of that course in college, okay? So again, our dual credits that we offer are part of that core transfer library. So among the public schools here in Indiana, those transfer pretty simple. If you're looking at private or out of state, there's a little bit more that we obviously cannot guarantee for sure how that gets accepted.
If you already know where you're going to go to college, you can call their admissions office and tell them, hey, I'm considering taking this course or this course or this course. How are you guys going to accept that at your school? And they'll be able to answer that for you.
Yeah, so that's good stuff to look into now for sure. Okay, so that's the difference between AP and dual credit. Again, we're giving you a lot of options in both. So choose what, we're trying to give you a lot of options for that senior year to help you as you go into whatever your post-secondary plans are. So some courses for next year, cadet teaching. This is where you work as a teaching assistant at one of the elementary schools for 2 periods, which means with our current schedule, that means you take 6 classes here. There's an application that's required for that. That's due April 1st. That link will take you to that application. You do only earn 1 credit though per semester. So it's taking up 2 class periods, but you only earn 1 credit. So just be aware that means the max credits you could earn if you do this would be 7 a semester. So you can do this for 2 years. If you're doing that this year and you want to do it next year, you can sign up for the Ed Professions too. IWU classes, these are available to you as seniors. As well as over the summer, actually. There's an online registration you would have to complete. Mrs. Bright has a packet of information that can help you if you want to sign up for those. You have to have a 3.0 GPA or higher in order to qualify to do this. The application fee is $25, and then you pay $150 per course, and you take 1 course per semester. So if you do 1 course like psychology in the fall, you take another course, speech, in the spring.
And I sent you all an email last week concerning this, so you should have gotten that. You can actually go on and register for this summer or next fall's classes right now, if you meet those requirements up on the screen. Starting April 1st is when IWU will start actually putting you into classes. So here's how the lady in there has told me they do that. That's why it would be advantageous for you to go ahead and get your registration done and get paid. You got to have all of those parts of that email done, because when she goes to start putting high school kids into their IW classes, she does that by date that your registration and application and payments were all completed. Okay, so the sooner you do that, the better chance you have of getting into that class. And I am telling you, all of you probably won't get in the class you want. If you don't believe me, ask some of the seniors. Because we had several of them who waited till the last minute, didn't get in the classes they wanted for this spring, and so they just had to live with their choice.
And this takes up 2 class periods, correct? So they would do 6 other classes here, and then you take your ELSing course. Work-based learning, this was previously called School to Work. This does meet Box 2 requirement for your grad pathways. This is kind of new this year. You must have taken an advanced CTE course in a pathway that aligns with your work placement in order to do this. So for an example, Let's say you took Principles of Business Management this year. That is a CTE course. I can kind of help you figure out if you've taken one of these or not. And then your work placement has to link with that class. So that's a business class. Let's say you get a job placement at the Pipe Creek Animal Clinic. That's a business. I can link those two together and tell the state of Indiana, okay, this student is interested in going into something with business. They took a business class and now they're, kind of doing an internship or a work placement at a business that's going to help them with that. Okay, so this is new this year. I think in the past it's been a little more flexible, but you have to have met this. So please come see us if you don't know if you've met this requirement or not, but we have to link your work placement with a CTE course that you have taken here. So ag business management, you're gonna go work with the agriculture, you're gonna work on a farm. Those two linked together, make sense? This is 4 periods off campus, so it's a half day. You take 4 classes here. Those applications are due April 1st, and then Mrs. Edwards is the one who's in charge of this program, so you can talk to her if you have additional questions.
Basically, that is right when we get back from spring break, those have got to be in.
AP English 12, this is AP Literature. This course does have mandatory summer reading assignments. These are graded and required by the first day of school. This is taught at a higher level than just a regular English 12. And again, with that AP, the advanced placement, you have to pass the AP test in order to earn the college credit. And as of this year, this is a free test. You do not have to pay for this. That can change. That depends on what the state of Indiana decides to do. But as of now, that would be a free AP test for you. And then we have that English 12 dual credit we talked about through Ivy Tech. This is, again, free. You have to have an unweighted GPA of a 2.6 or better. And there are potentially some test scores. If you do not meet that GPA, there are test scores that can help you meet that requirement instead. So it's a GPA or a test score to get you into that. You do have to be on the 440, the academic honors or the technical honors diploma track. You cannot be on the general diploma and earn these credits. Okay. 4-year plans, right now you guys are seniors. We do have these available on our website where you can kind of map out what your 4 years look like. You're done with 3 already, so really we're just looking at next year for you. It's an editable Google Doc that you can make a copy of and save and do with what you like. All right, before we start picking classes and going through that whole process in Skyward, don't forget to kind of keep these things in mind. The level of difficulty and the amount of homework that you are willing to tackle on top of any of your other extracurricular activities. So if you are in 3 sports and the musical and you babysit your siblings in the evenings and you have a part-time job, be careful of what you're choosing to take here that you are only kind of taking on as much as you feel like you can handle. We want you to challenge yourself. Like Mr. Law said, you don't want to take that senior year easy, but we also don't want you, overloading and just being aware of what is required and what demands you have in your life. Everyone's a little different. If you fail a required course, it is your responsibility to see one of us to find a way to make that up. And we do have summer school if you fail English or math. So before you complete your request in Skyward, make sure you read the course description guide. If you look at that second page on your paper, there are a ton of new courses you've probably never even heard of that we're offering. Read the description. Don't come ask me exactly what they're teaching in that class because I honestly can't tell you what every class is teaching exactly. But the course book we have, which is 50-something pages long, will give you detailed descriptions of what each of these courses offer and what it's about. So please read those before you choose a class. Don't choose Principles of Teaching if you haven't read that course description because you don't know what it's going to be about. Choose only grade appropriate courses. And then again, as of now, we will not have study halls next year. It'll be that SRT, like what we have now, something similar. So here's an example in our course book what a class looks like. I want you to see this so you can see what information you need to be picking out when you're looking.
So everybody look up. This is what you should be seeing.
So in the course book, you can see on the far left side, it says 9, 10, 11, and 12. That means what grades that course is available for. The course numbers beneath it, the title of the course, and then on the right side, it says how many semesters and how many credits you earn. You can see right beneath the title, it says Oak Hill Prerequisite. Anyone know what a prerequisite is? Yes, you have to take that class, something else first before you can take that. Can you take Spanish 3 just off the cuff, or do you have to take Spanish 1 and 2 first? Right? So these list the prerequisites, so please make sure you've met those before you try to request a class. Then it gives you a description of the course and so on. Here's another example. This is pre-calc. You can see it says dual credit underneath the title, so you know this is a dual credited course, so you can get college and high school credit. You do have to take Algebra 2 and Geometry before you can take pre-calc, and we recommend that you have a C or better in Algebra 2 if you consider taking this course. Okay, so this is in our course book. There are links to it in the PowerPoint. You need to know how to get to it from our website because you should be looking at this quite a bit, just so that you know what courses you're choosing to sign up for and take. Typical senior schedule. Look at all the space for electives. Isn't that fun? Yeah, maybe not. You all have to take English 12 and then government and econ, and the rest is room for you to choose based on what you need. So that is the joy of high school, is as a freshman, you probably have room for maybe one elective, right? By the time you're a senior, we're giving you flexibility to say, here's what I'm interested in and what I want to continue to pursue. So if you've done what you need to in 9, 10, and 11, you're going to have room next year to choose and take what kind of courses you're interested in. So I have already uploaded those classes for you in Skyward, so you'll see English 12 and government and econ in Skyward once you log in. Here's some links to things that you'll need. Again, when we send this out, you'll have access to it. You can click on what you need to get information about the course book and diploma types, grad pathways, all that good stuff. The deadline to make changes to your request in Skyward is next Thursday. That is right before spring break. So please make sure your requests are in before you leave for spring break. Otherwise, Mr. Law and myself get to pick stuff for you, which is not very fun for me, but you do have to choose alternate courses, and I'll show you how to do that. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes, right, Mr. Law, is kids forget to request the alternates. We need those alternates in there in case some of your classes do not fit in your schedule. Otherwise, we start pulling from whatever classes have space. That's not always the best way to do it.
So you understand the whole alternate thing, because we get this all the time where kids pick the same alternate course that they have in their regular schedule. The alternate courses, if one of the 8 classes you chose for your schedule is not going to work in the master schedule, then the alternate goes in place of that, okay? So make sure you're choosing courses that aren't in your schedule already.
Some courses also have an A or a B listed after the course number. This is like a first and second semester thing. So 1008A is English 12A, and then 1008B is second semester of English 12. So make sure both of those are requested if it's a full year course. It should be set up right in Skyward. I make mistakes though, that it should automatically request those for you and link them together if that's the case, but just make sure you're double checking that. These courses are not available for you to request in Skyward because there is an application and you have to get accepted to do these. So if you're interested in one of these, Heartland, Marion, Indiana Wesleyan, a student media course, ed professions, or work-based learning, you will not see those available to you. You need to still fill out a full schedule in Skyward or full request in Skyward in case you do not get into one of these. Then if you do, we'll go in and take out whatever electives you don't need. Okay? Again, these are ones that have applications. As soon as we know who's in and which programs, we'll work with that with you, but you all need to have a full 16 credits requested in Skyward in order for your request to be completed.
Just so that you know, all of the applications for those that are on the website, and you can click that little hair thing up there on the screen, those are all due April 1st.
All of you should know how to log into Skyward by now. You cannot request through your parents' account. Some students have tried to do that. You have to use your student account. You should know your username and password. If not, come see Mrs. Bright, maybe probably the front office. They can help you get logged in if you don't know how. All right. I'm going to go through some slides that show you exactly what Skyward looks like. You have done this before, but I still need you to pay attention as we're doing it to make sure you're getting those alternates correctly. So you can go ahead and open your Chromebooks, but I need you to still listen as I'm going through the slides. The paper you have is kind of more for your resource. You do not have to turn that in to me or to Mr. Law. That's more for you to utilize. And then that paper that has lists all the courses available to you is again just a resource for you. I still like having something paper sometimes to look at rather than just on a computer. So use that for your resource. So go ahead and log into Skyward. On the left side, you should see a spot that says schedule. And we need everybody doing this because we're going to try to get everybody in, make sure it works. Left side says schedule. Click on schedule. And then at the top right, you should see a spot that says course requests. It should say open. You can click on request courses for the 2021-2022 school year. The Wi-Fi can be a little slow when there's this many students in one room, so just be patient if your Chromebook's still kind of trying to catch up. Okay, so schedule and then course requests at the top right. You'll get a pop-up window that shows you all the courses available on the left side, and on the right side, you can see what courses are already requested for you. Do you see where that green, I need everybody to look up and see this part for sure, because some of the other grades didn't get this right. You see the green circle at the top right? That says total credits. How many credits do you need to have a complete schedule? 16. Okay?
So here's the mistake the sophomores were making. They kept looking at the one to the left of that that says total request schedule. Okay, don't even pay attention to that one.
Yeah, that one's confusing.
Just look at the one that says total credits that's circled in green. That's the number you need to pay attention to.
So you search on the left side, click add course, it'll pull it to the right. The ones on the right are the ones that you're requesting. Pretty simple. I think you guys have done this before. To request your alternates, you have to do this or we will come find you.
All right, everybody stop what you're doing. Look at the screen. This is what you didn't do well last year.
You see the request alternate tab at the top? In the red box. You have to go through and choose 3 alternate classes, your 3 backup classes. Again, do not request something you've already requested. This is in case something doesn't fit in your schedule. So to have a complete Skyward, what do you need to have? The far right where it says total credits, what does it need to say? How many alternates do you need? 3. Thank you. Again, these are due by March 18th, so next Thursday before spring break.
Just so you know, you're locked out at that point. So if you think, I'll do it while I'm on spring break laying on the beach, no, you won't, because you're locked out after midnight and on the 18th. And then we choose your classes instead of you.
Schedule changes have to be made before June 1st. And your spring semester schedule, you can change that in November. So if you end up wanting to change something, then we'll talk to you in November. We do not allow requests for specific teachers or certain class periods. So you and your buddy, just because you want to have the same English classes, we will let you switch just to change periods. Okay?
So just so you understand how the process is going to work, between now and next Thursday, you're requesting the classes you want. Okay, then we take all those numbers and then we make the master schedule from that. And then hopefully sometime, maybe about mid-May, we will tell you your requests have been moved into an actual schedule. Okay, when you get the actual schedule, you have between then and June 1st to be able to make changes to that. Okay?
Okay. We gave you the directions, you have the info you need. Thought this was cute. Thanks for someone to laugh. I need a little entertainment and, yeah. Well, we'll talk about something. Okay. You have the rest of this period, you're going to stay in here, will allow you to work on your schedules. A couple things that we run into is some of the prerequisites are not set up right, that's my fault, I'm still figuring out how to do Skyward. So if there's a course that does not allow you to request it, you think you should, please raise your hand, I'll come check and see if I can get those things fixed as they pop up. And as we fix, big grouping of courses at a time, I'll make sure I announce that something's fixed so that, you can go and do that. Okay? And that's our info, which you should hopefully, Anything else, Mr. Lowe?
No, I don't want the noise level getting really loud because when we get a question that we're hearing multiple times, we're going to say it to the group so we can help you fix it. Okay, if you have questions, just raise your hands. We'll be coming around trying to answer and help you get through. We're hopeful by the time you leave here in about 20 minutes that you have your 16 and your 3 on the top, and then you can spend between today and next Thursday making any changes or adjustments you want to that. Okay, so go ahead and get started.
ACT English, ACT it's not AP, it's ACT. It's not different.